All right, how's it going, guys? Will Ripley here, tuning in live. So I do have to do just a minor setup detail here, but we are going to be hopping into a powerful blues lesson. So in case you're watching the replay, you might just want to fast forward just a couple minutes until we get actually officially started. But drop me a comment. Let me know that you guys are out there and that you're doing well. And yeah, just drop me a comment. Let me know where you're at in the world, what you're up to, and what's going on. Okay, so we are live as far as I can tell. All right, so let's share this thing. All right. Share. Reconnecting. Okay, we should be reconnecting. All right, so let's make that the official start of the lesson. How about that? Okay, we're finally reconnected. All right, thanks for sticking with me, guys. So, as you guys know, I'm Will Ripley. I'm with Campfire Guitar Star today. And what we're going to be doing is hopping into a lesson, okay, a blues-themed lesson. And here's the thing, the number one thing that I want to cover today, guys, is I believe that the blues is the best style of music to play with other people, okay? And why is that important? Well, you're probably playing guitar because maybe you want to go to an afternoon blues jam somewhere in your city, or get a band together, or jam with a guitar player friend. You know, like, why don't you guys just drop me a note in the comment, like something that you would love to do in 2019 with other musicians. Like, what does that look like? I'm curious to know. So I know for me that like when I started playing guitar in high school, I really wanted to get a high school band together and start ripping it up and, you know, performing for my friends, right, at house parties or assemblies or whatever. And I see those likes coming in on Facebook. Appreciate that. And so, yeah, so let me know what in 2019, what is it that you would like to see yourself do with other musicians specifically? Okay, and you know, of course, that's something that we all want to do is play with other musicians. So now, whether or not you're super into the blues or whether you're not, the blues is kind of this common ground with guitar players, okay? And it's this universal language, okay? So if you learn how to speak the blues, okay, you're going to be off to a really good start because you'll be ripping up the fretboard and interacting with somebody else musically. Okay, you'll be having a conversation musically with another musician. And I tell you, man, once you finally experience that for yourself, it's one of the greatest feelings out there, you know? And, you know, when you connect with another musician on a musical level and you're speaking the same language and communicating without words and just sounds and emotion, I mean, hey, just saying that out loud just sounds cool, right? And I'm sure that you guys are feeling that. So, and the blues, it is that emotive style of music that allows that connection, okay, easily, okay? Of course, there's, people connect on all kinds of genres of music, right? However, the blues helps musicians connect quickly. So if I'm to get together with somebody, say I'm auditioning for a band, or I'm jamming with another guitar player or something, or if I have a buddy come over and he plays a bit of guitar, we're definitely going to rip out a 12-bar blues at some point, okay? And it's probably going to be earlier on in the jam than later, because again, it's something that's attainable for most people, and it's a language that I want to get you to speak fluently, okay? And then it just ends up kind of creating the grounds for a good jam, and yeah, you can't really go wrong with playing the blues. And so, yeah, play well with others. So, anyways, guys, my question for you guys was, how do you see yourself in 2019 playing with other people? Go ahead and drop me a comment, and I'm curious to know what that looks like for you. And so, now, the very first thing that I want to hop into, okay, is there's a few things that drive me kind of bonkers about playing the blues. So, and that's because people don't follow, people don't mind their manners, okay? And I'm sure that you'd agree. There's people out there in general, in life, on the roads, in traffic, or whatever, that don't mind their manners, okay? Now with blues, there's blues etiquette, okay? And rules happens to rhyme with blues, so I appropriately named today's lesson 3 blues rules and becoming a real bluesman, okay? And so there's a few things that I hate about certain people playing the blues, okay? And one of those things is when there are no dynamics. So dynamics is a massive part of the blues, all right? And so when we're talking about dynamics, we're talking about a dynamic range. And basically you can kind of think of that as being a soft musicality and ranging up to an intense, loud range. Okay, so that's our dynamic range. Okay, and of course we've got everything in between as well. So let me just give you a real quick example of what that might look like. And this is something that you can do with your chord playing and your soloing ability as well. Okay, so for example, we might do something in the key of A, and I might start out nice and light. Okay, that sounds pretty bluesy, right? Now watch this. Okay, so I'm sure that you could hear me. I'm kind of like going up a mountain. And then kind of coming down the mountain. And I'm in a valley right here. Then I start climbing another mountain. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, the dynamic range. Now, why is that important? And what is it about that I hate? I hate it when people don't do that, okay? So I hate it when there are no dynamics. And when you're jamming, when you're playing with other people, you absolutely have to make sure that there are dynamics, both in your soloing and in your rhythm playing, okay? And so the biggest thing is that when you're playing with other people is listening to what is going on and being able, like one of the biggest things is being able to access that vibe that's currently happening in the moment and being able to connect with it appropriately, okay? And so what I mean by that is if the band is playing soft, and you're going like, that makes absolutely no sense, right? And then same thing, if the rhythm section is going, and you're going like, there's just a massive disconnect, right? So, and the thing is in those examples that I'm giving you is that nobody's listening to anybody there, okay? Now, of course, I know that you guys already know what I mean, okay? You got to listen to what's happening around you, and being able to connect with that vibe in the moment as a musician and as a player is going to be one of the biggest differentiating factors between you being a beginner and you being an advanced player, okay? It's little things like that. It's not necessarily the notes. It's kind of like, more conceptual things, more things outside of your playing, using your ears, using your brain, using your mind, body, and soul, and connecting with a vibe and with an emotion, okay? And of course, the blues is so amazing for that because, it's really based around 5, 6, maybe 7 notes, and it's all about emotion and dynamics, okay? So that's one of the biggest things, and one of the biggest blues rules that you got to get going on in your playing is understanding dynamic range, okay, and listening, okay? So when the rhythm section isn't listening to you as a soloist, then they're doing something wrong, okay? When you are supporting a soloist playing rhythm, okay, you have to listen to them, okay? So here's a quick concept for you, is you want to listen so closely to the soloist that you can, and it's really surprising and you can have a lot of fun playing chords, okay? Because a lot of guitar players, they just want to get to the solo, okay? And that's another thing that drives me nuts about playing the blues is just, if somebody just going, they're just like waiting for the chance to solo and they don't care about anything else that's going on, okay? So that's another blues rule that you want to try to avoid, okay? And so what I'm talking about is basically blues etiquette, okay? And that is when you're playing rhythm and somebody's soloing, okay, check it out. So say if somebody goes, okay, well check this out. You can actually match that, and it's totally okay if you do it after, if you're like, with your rhythm playing, okay? And you just, so again, okay? And so you can actually kind of bounce rhythmic ideas off of the person soloing, and just try this next time that you're jamming with somebody or trying to jam along with the jam track or whatever. Just see if you can pick up on little rhythmic cues like that, okay? And you'll be surprised where that takes the energy of the song, okay? Okay, and more about blues etiquette. Now, you got to get your 12-bar blues down, okay? And if you've been sticking with me on some of the lessons that we've been doing lately, we've been releasing some videos, and actually Mike has another video coming up here in the next couple days, so keep an eye out for that. But that one's all about learning the 12-bar blues, okay? So, and I just released a video, and let me know if you guys caught this. We're going over a riff like this. And in that lesson, we learned what a quick 4 was when we go to the 4 chord. And then the whole turnaround. Okay, so we've got this whole 12-bar blues sequence. Now, that's one of the biggest blues etiquette things that you got to get going on, is learning various forms of the 12-bar blues, okay? And that's why we created a whole course called Blues Guitar Star, and I'll make sure to link that for you guys. It's just going on promotion this week. So if you guys are interested in playing the blues, and you've been digging some of the YouTube content that's coming out, just imagine what's in our full blues course. Okay, and it's going on sale for just $67 for lifetime access. Okay, and I'll make sure to grab that link for you right now. And so more about blues etiquette is that concept of first learning the 12-bar blues, okay? You got to get the 12-bar blues under your fingers, okay? But also, you got to learn how to use that appropriately with somebody else, okay? And what I mean by that is usually blues etiquette goes something like this. When there's a 12-bar blues, one guy is playing rhythm, right? And the other guy is soloing. Right? So, and then right at the end of the 12-bar blues, then it switches over, okay? So one of the biggest things is being able to know when that is so that you can hop right back in and switch from soloing to rhythm without missing a beat, okay? And so this is part of blues etiquette and something that you want to get down. So what happens to a lot of people is they get lost in the 12-bar blues, especially when they're soloing. They're wailing and they just kind of like lose context of where they're at in the 12-bar blues. And then before you know it, their solo time is up. They're supposed to switch back to rhythm, but they're like on their lead channel and they're ripping and yeah, or they're way up here on the fretboard, and then they just can't get back to, you know, some of the root notes and start playing on beat, especially when the other guy is trying to switch from rhythm to lead, okay? So that's kind of blues etiquette, which is when you're jamming with somebody, agree on what you're gonna do, okay? Agree, okay, hey, how about I'll take rhythm first, you take lead, and we'll switch, you take a chorus and I'll take a chorus. So in blues a lot, a chorus is the 12-bar form, okay? So I'll play rhythm and you solo for the first 12, and then I'll play lead and you play rhythm for the next 12, and let's switch back and forth, okay? And so, and yeah, and sometimes, especially a rookie guitar player will just solo and solo and solo and solo and not really think about switching back to chords. And a lot of times, unfortunately, and let me know if you're one of these guys, some guys, they don't know how to do both, okay? And they don't know how to play a 12-bar blues. They don't know how to play appropriate solo. They don't know how to play to the changes, you know? And then when it comes to rhythm, you know, how do you make rhythm interesting? Kind of like what we were talking about, you know, like playing cool rhythmic shots and doing interesting slides like... and cool little rhythms, right? And then turnarounds. Okay? Like you can have a ton of fun playing rhythm guitar, especially when you learn a bunch of different chords and then you're listening, right? When we talk, you guys remember when I was talking about that? Is so important, okay? Is listening to what's going around, seeing if you can support the soloist to play an amazing solo by listening to them and supporting them when they need a little rhythmic push or feeding off what they're doing, okay? And I can tell you from ripping many a solos in my day that if the rhythm section is not with me, there is absolutely no way that I'm gonna play a smoking hot solo, okay? It's basically impossible for me. Okay, if the rhythm section or my rhythm guitar player or my band or whoever's playing with me at that moment, if they aren't with me, okay, if they aren't supporting me and locked in with me and listening to me, then I'm just gonna play some sort of wanky, lame solo that's completely forgettable, okay? But if I'm supported by those guys, if I feel their energy behind me and they're feeding off my rhythmic shots and I'm locked in with them, we're all listening together and we're creating that vibe and that moment together, then that's when magic happens, right? That's when you just get completely lit up, you know? And I can tell you that it's like I said this earlier, it's like the best feeling on earth being able to do that. Okay? So yeah, so DMAC East talks about call and response, and that's exactly what that is. It's like you got the rhythm, or sorry, like the call, okay, like the vocal, and then response. Right? So you get this call and this response, which is a huge part of playing the blues. Okay? So let's see. So those are some things, some blues rules for you guys. Okay? Play with dynamics. Okay? If you're in the rhythm section, listen to the soloist. And when you're a soloist, try to connect with the rhythm section. See if you can make it a musical conversation. Okay? And then also we talked about blues etiquette and following blues etiquette. So, not getting lost when you're in the rhythm or the soloing, and being able to play that tight 12-bar blues and being able to not get lost in that and be able to switch from soloing right back into the rhythm without missing a beat. Okay? And then also we talked about how when someone is just kind of like playing rhythm and they're not super into it, and they're just kind of waiting until they can solo. Okay, so of course soloing is super fun, but you can have a ton of fun with your rhythm guitar playing as well. Okay, so and yeah, guys, so I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about our blues guitar program. And again, if you guys have been, we have a whole blues guitar playlist on YouTube with a bunch of our free blues guitar lessons. And if you like those, if you've been sticking with us for a while, if you've been getting value from what it is that we're doing, I can guarantee that you're going to love our full program called Blues Guitar Star. And this weekend, starting today, we're doing a promo on it. Okay, so normally the course sells for $100, but you can actually get it for $67, and up until Sunday at midnight. Okay, so I dropped in that link on YouTube for you guys, and you guys can grab it there. It's just campfireguitarstar.com/blues, and you'll find all the information and everything that you'll learn. But I wanted to give you kind of the 3 main things now that you're going to get out of this course, but also the 3 things that you as a guitarist should really focus on and get a grip on when it comes to playing the blues. Okay, number 1 is rhythm. Okay, and we talked a little bit about this, like getting some cool chords under your fingers. Okay, all kinds of different fun things. You can play a 12-bar blues different every time. Okay, so there's all kinds of different blues chordal techniques, right? So you've got to get your rhythms down. You got to understand the difference between like this, like we were playing kind of a shuffle there, right? And then there's also a ton of blues songs that are complete non-shuffles. So, if we do, we can switch something like this, which is straight, and noting the difference between like a straight rhythm and a shuffle. Okay, so there's all kinds of different blues rhythms. There's slow blues, fast blues, jump blues, funk blues, rock blues, okay? And there's, tempos that are slow, tempos that are fast, okay? And all kinds of awesome chords that you can get going on. And you definitely want to get your dominant 7 chords going on. So those are all the things that you want to get locked down rhythm-wise, okay? And I'm sure that you can see how some of those blues rules and some of that blues etiquette that I'm talking about completely lends itself to learning chords and rhythm and mastering that side of the blues, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, and so in module number 1 of Blues Guitar Star, we have a whole module dedicated to rhythm, chords, all those tempos, the feel changes, and all that stuff. Okay, an entire module dedicated to that. Okay, and you'd be surprised, once you learn and master blues rhythm, it's going to do wonders for your blues soloing. Okay, I can't even tell you how deeply interconnected these two things are. Even though you kind of think of them in like I don't know, skiing and snowboarding, it's kind of like they're the same, but they're actually, you know, also totally different. Well, that's kind of like what lead guitar and rhythm guitar is like. They seem like totally different things, but once you nail that rhythm side of things, your lead guitar playing is going to be so supported, okay, and just go, you know, skyrocket, because you'll have awesome rhythm going on, okay. Now, the second thing that you want to get a grip on with the blues, okay, is unlocking this mysterious guitar grid, okay. Now, of course, when we look down at this thing, we've just got this grid, you know, lines going this way, which are the strings, and then we've got lines going this way, which are the frets, right? So we've just got these blocks and these notes. We can play all these different notes, okay? Now, what you want to do is learn your major pentatonic scales and your minor pentatonic scales, and then be able to play those in 5 main keys. Maybe you want to write this down, okay? Because this is, you know, the big thing for those people that are ultra motivated and have the time and you know, want to search this stuff up themselves. And, you know, of course, we have this all unlocked for you in Blues Guitar Star. But this is kind of it in a nutshell. You want to learn your major pentatonic scales and your minor pentatonic scales in 5 main keys. Okay, and the 5 main keys are actually really easy to remember because they're the same as your open strings: E, A, D, G, and B. And of course, E gets repeated, right? You get your low E and your high E. So those 5 keys are some of the top, really the top 5 keys that you'll find blues songs are written in. Okay, and of course there's exceptions. Born Under a Bad Sign is in C sharp, okay, and The Thrill Is Gone is in B flat, okay. However, if you focus on those 5 keys, you know, you can quickly find B flat or C sharp. And my point is that you want to learn your major pentatonic scales and your minor pentatonic scales in those 5 keys and be able to switch between them fluently, okay. Yes, it's a big task, okay. Yes, you can learn it, and you can learn it by yourself even. However, that's why we created Blues Guitar Star, to help those people. Just take a massive shortcut, right? For those people that want to just get access to those techniques quickly. So that's step number 2, guys, okay? 2 out of 3 is unlocking the grid, okay? You've got to learn those major pentatonics and minor pentatonics. And then, of course, once you learn the notes, a lot of people are like, okay, well, I learned all these scales, and I'm putting them to a jam track, and I can tell that they're right notes, but I don't sound very good playing them. Let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Do you know some of these scales? Have you tried to apply them, but you still somehow don't sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan or Jimi Hendrix or Buddy Guy or B.B. King, right? There's just like a huge difference between you and those guys, right? And that's because what you need to do is grab those scales and combine them with the essential lead guitar techniques, which are bends, vibrato, mastering vibrato, right? Slow vibrato, like a stinging fast vibrato. Okay, vibrato, right? So bends and vibrato. So vibrato is really a type of bend, okay? We've got slides. Right? All those slide techniques that you hear, it's like a very Stevie Ray Vaughan-ish type of... Right, slides and then sliding into notes. Right, like doing slides, okay? And then, of course, hammer-ons. And pull-offs. Okay, so again, those lead guitar techniques are bends, vibrato, okay, slides, hammer-ons, and pull-offs. Okay, so if you combine all those lead guitar techniques with the major and minor pentatonic scales, you'll be off to the races, okay? And again, it's possible to learn this stuff, absolutely, and we've tried to create a big shortcut for you guys in our course, Blues Guitar Star, and that's campfireguitarstar.com/blues, all right? So the third concept that I want to share with you guys is actually, the word is concepts. So blues concepts. So, and we talked a little bit about this, was like how to listen to the other guitar players and listen to the soloist and create a musical framework where you're in a supportive environment and creating an awesome emotion and tapping into a vibe, right? At the end of the day, that's what we're doing with guitar music, and that's like the dragon that we're all chasing, you know? And so with the third module in Blues Guitar Star, and also the third thing that you want to get going on with your guitar playing, is kind of learning all these blues concepts, like how to tell a story with your solo, okay? You know, how do you have that push and pull? How do you get those build-ups, you know, and climax, and then an ending to your solo, okay? So I think that's the best way to think about creating a great guitar solo, is to have an intro and to build a theme, okay? And to have a climax and to have a resolve, okay? So you can imagine that if you were to kind of build your solo like this, okay, that would create a great solo. Okay, so for example, we might start nice and, like, here's my intro. Okay, so hey, nice lead in, right? I get it. I'm down with this. You got my attention. Where are you going to take this? Okay, so now I might build up a theme. I might go, and I might repeat that. I might play that faster. I might play it way slow. Okay. So there's my theme that I've created, right? And then I might create a climax, some sort of intense buildup or like peak moment. And then the resolve. And right back into some great rhythm playing. Okay? And another thing about that is, you notice how I left space in there? It's like when I developed my theme, right? And I hushed right up. You know? Shh, right? And a great way to think about this is, think about a saxophone player, okay? A saxophone player, they go, and their cheeks go out, or a trumpet player, okay? And they can only play notes for as long as they have a breath, right? Because once they run out of breath, they have to stop playing notes, inhale, right? And there's that rest, and there's that pause, okay? And as Mozart said, music is about the space in between the notes, okay? And so it could, a Mozart quote couldn't be any more relevant to the blues, okay? So we've got that same concept of adding space into what it is that you're playing, and how that will create a very powerful solo, okay? And that's what the blues is so beautiful for doing, is sometimes that space that you leave in between, those are some of the most powerful moments, okay? And then you come back with those, those fiery licks or those stinging notes or those sustaining vibrato-esque notes, and that's just the stuff that just pulls on people's heartstrings, including your own, okay? So that's what I mean by blues concepts. And in Blues Guitar Star, in our third module, we go over all kinds of concepts like this, but going in deeper and just really breaking down all those concepts for you so that you can just fill up your blues tool belt with just so many different concepts that you can just rip those out. Like, I feel like pulling out the hammer, or no, I need a saw for this one, or I need some sandpaper or whatever, So yeah, we want to fill up your blues tool belt with all kinds of great concepts. So those are the big three things that we cover in Blues Guitar Star, and the big three things that you really ultimately want to get going on as a blues guitar player. Rhythm, understanding the fretboard, and how to apply that knowledge with your soloing and creating concepts and those tools, okay? So does anybody have any questions about Blues Guitar Star, about the blues, about anything that we went over in today's lesson? And just while those comments are coming in, I'm just wondering, does anybody have this book already? This is actually a free book that we ship. And believe it or not, I've actually shipped over 2,000 copies of this book. Honestly didn't see that one coming, but it's been pretty cool. So, and I think it's such a hot offer because it's a free book. All you have to do is pay the shipping. Okay, I cover the cost of the book and all the stuff behind the scenes. We ship these books out. You can get it for $10. Okay, so check that out. The 5-Minute Guitar System. Okay, it's got some blues songs in it, actually, some blues chords, and but yeah, it's our step-by-step beginner guitar system that's been actually proven with, dare I say, hundreds of thousands of guitarists. I have 4 million views on the YouTube channel, so maybe I can say that now. Anyways, let me know if you do have this book. I see Darlene Crosby. Darlene is one of our one-on-one students. So one thing that we do here at Campfire Guitar Star is we actually we do one-on-one lessons for students all over the world. So we've got students in Europe, all over Canada and the United States, and a few people in Australia as well, and one guy in New Zealand. Okay, so if you're thinking about getting coached, hey man, it is possible. You can connect with a pro guitar instructor right from the comfort of your own home. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Sandpaper is like the chicka chicka. There you go. So that's that tool when you're going sandpaper. Love it. Good call, man. So Darlene said that that was the first course that she got from me. Great. Yeah. So, and that's kind of really the goal with creating my whole beginner guitar course, 5-Minute Guitar, for absolutely and totally free, is so that I can build trust with people out there and be like, hey, you know what? These guitar systems, they've been proven effective, and why don't you give it a try for free? And I can pretty much guarantee you're going to get some good results from it. And hey, maybe you'll invest in one-on-one coaching or buy Blues Guitar Star down the road just because you experience some results. So anyways, that's super cool. Oh, nice. And Pap Zito gifted it to his nephew. Awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. Well, cool. So unless there's any more comments or things coming in, I see Rick on the call here. What's up, man? Good to see you. And so yeah, so I'm streaming from the Campfire Guitar Star Facebook page. I'm on the YouTube Live on the Campfire Guitar Star YouTube channel. And also the Beginner Guitar Players on Facebook page, which we moderate and founded. So guys, do check out campfireguitarstar.com/blues. That's going to get you access to our entire blues course, which is going on sale until Sunday at midnight. So hey, if you're chilling right now, if you want to dig into that, you'll get instant access to the course, which is over 8 hours of video footage and PDF downloads with all the tabs and chords and scales and everything that you need to go along with the lessons. But yeah, I think it's a really good course, man. we've been selling it for a while, and people are happy to pay the full price of $100, but you can get it for 67. So why not go ahead and grab that for yourself today? Do yourself a favor and get the blues into your life and the way that you've always dreamed and imagined. So again, it's a course that I really believe in, and it's something that I had a big role in, and so did Mike B. Mike B is actually really the on-screen teacher, but we work together on the course development and stuff like that. And it's definitely a course that I stand behind. And again, it's those 3 modules: rhythm, unlocking that grid, and building up your tool belt with all those awesome tools to play wicked solos. So I do hope to see that you pick up Blues Guitar Star, and as Darlene Crosby says, get the book. All that stuff can be done over at campfireguitarstar.com. And if you want to check out the blues program, just do a / and blues. I've dropped that into the comments on YouTube. And also, you'll find the blues link on campfireguitarstar.com as well. So you can get access to that discount and the savings. So guys, thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it a lot. Watch out for your email tomorrow, I believe, if not Friday. Mike B is going to come out with another blues lesson. He's going to go all over the 12-bar blues and exactly how to play the 12-bar blues. So I'm really looking forward to his execution of this. And definitely check the latest videos for the latest uploads that we've just done recently in March, because we've released a whole bunch of blues lessons. So you can check that out, and we actually have a blues guitar playlist as well. So make sure to check all that stuff out. And as Darlene says, she's doing great with the one-on-one lessons, and that's something that we do. So, hey, let's stay in touch. Let's make you a wicked guitar player, man. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in again. Have a great night, and keep on ripping it up.